Hey, how we doing guys? Thanks for tuning in to my review of Killing Floor Incursion on PSVR. And if you like the video and want more PSVR and PS4 content, please like and subscribe. Your support is very much appreciated. Now I know what you're thinking. Killing Floor Incursion had some pretty bad press on Steam, and with the limitations of the Move controllers, you'd be forgiven for thinking we'll get a terrible port. But after spending quite a bit of time dismembering the Zeds, there's a lot to like from Tripwire Interactive's latest instalment in the franchise. The setup is loose, which even the game pokes fun at, whereby you are an injured lieutenant stuck in a simulation. There's clearly some ulterior motives at work, and if you die in the sim, you die in the real world. This is all just an excuse for you to slice, dice, shoot and punch your way through more hordes of shambling, sexless beasts than your average Friday night fight to get to the bar. Firing this up on the PS4 Pro, I was surprised at the fidelity of the image, expecting a resolution more in line with the equally fun raw data. Character models and environments are pretty detailed, with the Zeds holding up well as they invade your personal space. Guns and weapons are equally striking, giving them real weight. Textures on the whole are pretty well done, with particle and environmental effects adding to the immersion factor. I was particularly impressed with the sewer levels, where wading through excrement was horrifyingly realistic. There is some popping that is quite apparent, but infrequent enough not to be too distracting. On the Pro, performance was rock solid, although some streamers have reported issues on the base PS4. Draw distances are good, but can suffer in some of the more open levels. And while this doesn't have the wow factor of something like Resident Evil 7, it's pretty close, and the devs have to be given credit for a great job porting this from its PC counterpart. Lighting is top notch, with your flashlight illumination being extremely impressive when navigating some of the darker passages of the game. Creature animations are suitably grotesque, with their various death animations and ragdoll physics providing a lot of macabre satisfaction as you beat them to a pulp with their own limbs. However, it does have a few issues. I did experience a crash during the live stream, and clipping issues or getting stuck on objects sometimes rear their head, but this is nothing that can't be fixed through a few patches. Sound design is extremely effective, with the groans and screams of the Zeds all mastered in 3D, enhancing the chaotic action and providing atmosphere during the shorter exploratory segments. Guns and weapons effects are meaty, and voice work is apt, with some intentionally over the top dialogue providing exposition and humour. Music during the main campaign is used sparingly, with ambient effects taking precedent. But when playing the holdout mode, the growling commendations and heavy metal soundtrack gives a real sense of urgency and arcade feel to the action, taking me all the way back to those heady days of playing House of the Dead and Vampire Night in a sweaty kebab shop. Navigating the game is undertaken using 2 move controllers only, and despite the inherent limitations of the moves, Tripwire have done a great job, all things considered. If you've played Raw Data or Arizona Sunshine, you know what to expect when it comes to the control scheme. While the game was obviously built with teleportation in mind, locomotion and smooth turning are present, as well as sitting and standing options. I used a combination of locomotion and teleportation, opting for click turning as the smooth option felt very slow, leading to some frustrating moments during combat. However, the recent 1.03 patch has addressed general move and smooth turning speed, which has greatly enhanced the overall feel of the game, with smooth turning now my default. Tracking is generally good, going awry infrequently as long as you face the camera at all times, with most problems confined to grabbing and storing things on the vest. But when it works, it really works, making you feel like a complete unit, whether you're dual wielding pistols or axes, or utilising double-handed power weapons such as the shotgun to rip through the onrushing hordes. I experienced no motion sickness, but it could be an issue for some, although there are more than enough options available to suit everyone. In addition to the campaign, there is Holdout mode, exclusive to PSVR for the time being anyway, with both modes playable in single player or with a friend. While the campaign can be completed in 3 to 4 hours, the addition of a co-op feature is where the real fun is at, and a hardcore mode really increases the replayability of the game. There are some issues in co-op, especially in Holdout, with lag for the guest and the imposition of click turning, but hopefully this will be addressed soon. And I do think, as a complete package, it's a fair price point considering the amount of content on offer. In order to get the plat, you will have to complete at least 2 run-throughs of the game, one in solo and one in co-op. There are 3 endings with a gold trophy for each, but you just have to replay the last level making a different choice at the end, and this will drastically cut down on your completion time. Talking of which, I believe the platinum will take you around 10 to 15 hours, dependent on skill. Hardcore is certainly hardcore and will prove a significant challenge. Most of the boss related trophies will come from holdout when utilising power-ups, and as a result I'd rate the platinum difficulty at 6 out of 10. While Killing Floor Incursion has a few issues, these are overshadowed by a core gameplay loop that is immensely fun. Its over the top, gratuitously violent action is an absolute riot from start to finish, where moments of frustration are soon forgotten in a hail of bullets and flying body parts. Yes, there will be some players who aren't as forgiving as me, but no one can argue that they didn't have at least some fun throughout their playtime. If you're looking for a simple, yet effective shooter with strong production values, this is it. Encompassing everything that made arcade shooters so enjoyable, Killing Floor Incursion is definitely one of the better PSVR games released this year.